Our relationship to nature has been tarnished. Our ability to survive in our environment based on our rates of consumption is tenuous at best. We find ourselves, the apex race, on this planet, but not able to maintain the existence which is most comfortable or becoming comfortable to us. The human race remains unchecked in modern times, but that does not mean that it will remain unchecked in future times. As we use up our environment, as our connection to it lessens, as we as individuals grow more connected to that which is electronic and beyond nature, and our understanding of it becomes completely scientific and not spiritual in relation to it, these things will lead to a cataclysm, one that the human race will have to face with all its strength, because right now we are not using all our strength to lessen our consumption or reserve resources or allow our habitat to replenish. We have tamed nature, and in due course, we have made it weak. We have closed the cornucopia that nature provided with a plug, and that plug is hubris, arrogance, expectation that everything has to work for us, and that anything that does not needs to be quelled or needs to be pushed out. We can think of the red wolf in northwestern Europe being hunted to extinction in Norway, for instance, when it didn't need to be. We can think of the Amazon rainforest being chopped down at a ridiculous rate, even illegally, but also legally, to where we are quickly running out of space for humanity to exist, because we need these things in order to exist. We need animals, we need plants, we need a cooperation and a connection to them. If we do not have that, we are becoming a bioengineered species that is too confident of its abilities to survive outside of the confines of nature. But nature is within us. We might not feel like we are in nature anymore, but nature was within us. And if we pursue our carnal drives, we pursue our comfort, then we become someone who has put the noose around their own neck. It's a very nice noose. It's golden, very comfortable with padding, but it's something we will hang ourselves on. Industrialization has decreased the world's resources by a third in just over 100 years. This cannot be maintained, and even if we gain the technology to allow this to maintain and to expand into other planets, we are going to suffer the spiritual and physical hardships that we now and people in the recent past have not predicted or did not care, but desired to be rich now, to make money now, or to survive now, instead of thinking about the long term. So, it's not just resources, and it's not just physical nature that needs to be maintained. We have we have damaged the ring between us and nature. We existed at one point in this ring. We helped connect the ring to everything else, plants, animals, and spirits as well. Animal spirits, plant spirits, every kind of spirit, mineral spirits. We were once a part of this chain, of this circle. And we have decided that the circle should only work for us, so we have exited ourselves from it and hope to enslave the circle, that we may go forward, we may roll forward. It doesn't work that way, unfortunately. The circle must be repaired and maintained. Our connection to nature must be repaired and maintained. If not, we may not suffer, but our children will suffer, our descendants will suffer. And honestly, that's a way worse fate than suffering now to me. And it's not just because I believe in reincarnation, but there's this understanding that we are preserving the world to give to the future generations. If we don't meet up to that responsibility, we are not meeting up to really our ability to take an oath for those to come, and not just those who are. Now, there are beings, so there are a lot of nature spirits. There are land wights. Uh, my family has about 40 acres somewhere, and I always connect to that land wight every time I go there. Land wights aren't necessarily within just the boundaries that humans draw, but they can be very large pieces of earth, sections, and you can think of these sections of earth as their bodies. And there's a place where it's the heart, there's a place where it's the butt, there's a place where it's the head, and you got to kind of figure out how you can connect to that land wight and exactly where it begins and ends. But that last part is very difficult. There are goblins, are the repulsive side of nature, not the repulsive side in the sense that nature is repulsive. It's the menial tasks that nature does that would be repulsive to us, but goblins very much take up that role. Um, I'll list a couple and you'll get the idea. Perhaps an orangutan, after she gives birth, eating the placenta and the everything that was connected to the baby. Repulsive to us, but serves a function. A mother cat cleaning baby kittens all over. If we get down to the details, seems repulsive to us, but necessary. Goblins control those tasks. Basic tasks, but also very important tasks. Um, uh, if we're talking about fairies, they're very much connected to other realms more so than even goblins. Goblins are kind of connected to fey realms, but fairies are also connected to fey realms, and they're actually harder to deal with in my experience because they can be offended very easily, and it's not just a trade relationship. You don't just give them this and then they give you this. It's very tenuous. I don't really mess with fairies. Elves. So elves are transdimensional, and they are very much connected to nature, and they're very intelligent. I have I wouldn't say, yeah, quite a bit of elven blood in me, which I mean by consciousness and natural predisposition and my past lives, very connected to nature. I like to think I'm intelligent, but who knows? And then there's other things about elves that aren't so nice. They're very petty in physical ways, and sometimes they can be, proud and look down on others. At any rate, elves they actually work with nature, and they want to maintain it. They do so with the ability to satisfy all other needs in a way that can be aligned with their environment. This is what we got to learn from them. And there are big spirits and gods. So the ritual that I'm about to do with Freyr, simple ritual, just going to show a very simple ritual. This ritual with Freyr, now Freyr is a Vanir, an elven god of nature, time, cycles, harvest, peace, and fertility. Very the epitome of elvishness, or Vanir, of the Vanir. I connect to Freyr very easily. He represents the cornucopia, the limitlessness of nature's bounty that it can give to us if we keep our relationship proper to it, don't pollute it, don't manipulate its genes. That's what he represents. And so when you do a ritual with a god or a spirit, let's say even a goblin, and you're looking to maintain your relationship to nature, to your environment, and maintain the overall compatibility of the human race and nature, spiritual, it's not always, we think of the regular ways of maintaining nature, which are very important, not any less important. Recycling, not littering, trying to decrease your carbon footprint. All of these things are great, and they're no less important. But there are also spiritual rituals you can do with beings like Freyr, where you can maintain that relationship and just put a little piece of stability or connection to us and nature into the grander consciousness of humanity, of the human race. It's a very small act, but spiritually, a lot of people don't realize that we can do these little rituals and connect nature to man and maintain that connection, at least a little bit. And through our efforts, not only, the spiritual relationship is maintained, because a lot of people don't have a spiritual connection to the earth anymore. And we also have to do the physical of, doing everything to help our planet reduce carbon emissions and everything that I mentioned before. But the spiritual side is something that a lot of people don't do. So I'm going to do a ritual with Freyr. Well, I'm going to call out to Freyr and make offerings and make requests. So you're about to see that, but thank you very much for watching. This is going to be a little bit longer video, a little bit weirder video because we're having multiple parts to this. But yeah, I'll see you in a second. Hail, Freyr, god of the harvest, fertility, and peace. Hail, 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 Freyr. I offer you this candle, Freyr, and this dragon's blood incense. Hail, Freyr, come to me, Freyr. Hail, Freyr. Hail, hail, hail. Ingos, 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 Freyr, Ingos, 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 Freyr, Ingos. Freyr, I offer you this milk. Hail, Freyr. Hail. 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 Hail, Freyr. Ingos, Freyr. Ingos. 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 Vinda medmal. Veva medmal. Vinda medmal. Veva medmal. By my band of loyalty to the gods, upon which is the boar, fertility, and nature, I pledge to you, Freyr, that I will keep myself relative to nature and never imagine that I can conquer it. Hail, Freyr, hail, hail, hail. My blade is yours, Freyr. My practice yours to guide. Freyr, Freyr, Freyr. I ask, Freyr, that you maintain the relationship between humanity and nature, that we'd never imagine we are beyond it, but always respect it and connect to it as our ancestors have, as all of humanity has. Freyr, keep our relationship strong, that humanity may thrive in spirit, body, mind, and soul. Freyr, I ask you to do this out of respect for you, and in hope that the Vanir, the Aesir, and man may hold a tight relationship and preserve the world for as long as possible. Hail, Freyr, hail, hail, hail. Freyr, what should I focus on? What is your message to me before ending this ritual? Interesting. Thank you, Freyr, for coming to this ritual. I ask that you take your offerings, and I beg that you maintain our connection to nature. Hail, Freyr, hail, hail, hail. Hello everyone, thank you very much for watching this video. If you liked it, hit that thumbs up down there, it really helps me out. And if you want to find all my podcast episodes, all my videos, other things that I do and write, feel free to become a patron on Patreon at www.patreon.com/darkrealist, capital D, capital R. And if you become a patron, then I'm more likely to really communicate with you on a basic level and also an enhanced level, and work with you on rituals, work with you on your magical expertise and how to enhance your spiritual path. So there's some benefits to becoming a patron on Patreon. But yeah, if you have any questions, comments, concerns about what a patron is, feel free to shoot it down in the comment section below on whatever video you're watching right now. But thank you very much for considering this. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see all of you on the channel in the future.